The void of space stretched endlessly, black and cold, like the universe itself was holding its breath. Stars flickered in the distance, tiny points of light that seemed fragile against the infinite darkness. Nothing moved in the silence at first, and yet in that stillness, an immense tension grew, heavier than the weight of any planet or moon. Somewhere far away, a fleet of alien warships floated like a massive predator, waiting, calculating, preparing to strike. Their metal hulls gleamed dimly under distant starlight, sharp and menacing, as if the stars themselves feared to shine on them. Inside the alien command bridge, generals moved with a precision that felt unnatural, their long limbs slicing the air as they issued orders in low, mechanical tones. Eyes glinted with cold intelligence, devoid of mercy or empathy. They had conquered countless worlds, crushed civilizations, and yet here they hovered over their newest prey. Earth, a small blue planet that had begun to dare in secret to rise against the galaxy's long shadow. "This species is weak," hissed one general, its voice like grinding metal. "Their weapons are primitive. Their numbers are insignificant. If we strike now, their fleets will be nothing more than fire and dust." Another general nodded, the facets of its eyes catching the faint light of nearby stars. "We should not waste time. They cannot resist us. A few tactical strikes, and this entire planet will be neutralized. Nothing will remain to tell their story." But in the quiet of the void, a new presence approached, silent, almost invisible, yet massive. The human Dreadnought Valiant glided into view, larger than any ship the aliens had encountered before. Its hull reflected the distant starlight, a silver promise against the shadowed emptiness. Unlike the alien fleet, which moved like a single organism, the Valiant seemed alive, as if the ship itself understood the stakes and had chosen courage over fear. On board the Valiant, Captain Elena Reyes stood on the command bridge, her hands gripping the rail with quiet determination. Her uniform was marked with signs of past battles, scratches and burn marks that told stories of survival and sacrifice. Her eyes, deep and unwavering, scanned the battlefield ahead, taking in the alien armada that stretched beyond the horizon of space. Every instinct in her body screamed caution, but her heart beat with something stronger: hope. She spoke softly, almost to herself, yet the sound carried the weight of command. "We didn't come this far to surrender. We didn't come this far to let fear decide our fate. Today, we show them what humanity is made of." Her voice echoed lightly through the bridge. Crew members nodded, their expressions tense but resolute. Each of them knew the odds were against them. They knew the alien fleet could obliterate human forces in moments if it struck with full strength. Yet in the quiet determination on their captain's face, they found a courage they hadn't realized they had. Outside, smaller human vessels began to follow the Dreadnought, forming a line that shimmered with the glint of metal and the pulse of engines. The alien generals observed this movement with growing curiosity, a flicker of unease passing through their ranks. The humans were unassuming, fragile in appearance, and yet they were moving forward, not retreating, not hiding. They were advancing. General Xylar, one of the highest-ranking alien commanders, narrowed his eyes. He had studied human behavior through centuries of observation. Humans were reckless, emotional, unpredictable. That unpredictability had always made them dangerous. But not like this. This was different. They were disciplined. They were organized. And most alarming of all, they did not look afraid. The Dreadnoughts. Massive engines hummed, a low vibration that traveled through the bridge like a heartbeat. It was the sound of determination, of preparation, of a force that had decided it would not be broken. Captain Reyes felt that vibration in her chest, felt it resonate with something older, deeper than fear. Humanity had survived famine, war, disaster, and betrayal. Humanity had endured centuries of doubt, of being told they were weak, incapable, insignificant, and now the galaxy itself wanted to test them. The alien generals continued to whisper among themselves. "It is foolish," one said. "A single ship against our armada. It will burn before it reaches us." But that ship was not alone. Human ingenuity was spread across the smaller vessels, each one piloted by men and women who had trained for this moment their entire lives. They were the last line, the last hope, yet they did not falter. They had families, they had dreams, they had memories of a blue planet that shone with life. They were fighting not just for survival, but for meaning. Captain Reyes felt the weight of every life on her shoulders, and yet she did not tremble. She took a deep breath and whispered again, this time louder for her crew to hear. "Let them come. Let them see what we can do when we refuse to break. Today, the universe learns the first lesson about humanity. We are relentless, and we never give up." Outside, in the cold void, the Valiant drifted closer to the alien fleet. Stars seemed to dim in its presence, as if space itself acknowledged the moment. Somewhere far beyond human comprehension, in the dark reaches of the galaxy, civilizations that had long feared nothing felt a ripple of unease. The humans were coming, the Dreadnought was alive, and soon, the silence of the void would be shattered by a storm no one could ignore. The alien generals paused, exchanging glances of uncertainty. For the first time, they hesitated. Somewhere deep inside, instinct and experience clashed with the chilling reality that this species, the small, fragile, persistent humans, might not be so easily destroyed. And in that brief hesitation, humanity's story began to write itself across the stars, a story of courage, defiance, and the unbreakable will of a species that refused to surrender. The silence broke. The storm was coming. The stars stretched endlessly around the Valiant, each one a silent witness to the coming storm. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the alien fleet. She could feel the tension ripple through her crew, the quiet anxiety of those who understood the danger they faced. But she also felt something stronger, something the aliens could never understand. Hope. For centuries, humans had been underestimated. Across the galaxy, countless civilizations believed Earth to be insignificant, a tiny world full of weak, fragile creatures who barely survived on their own. Reports of human technological progress had been dismissed as exaggeration. Sightings of human exploratory vessels had been laughed at by more advanced species. No one had ever truly feared humans. Until now. Reyes ran her fingers along the cold metal railing of the bridge. She remembered the stories she had heard as a child, tales of humanity surviving impossible odds. Families torn apart by war, cities reduced to rubble by natural disasters, societies forced to rebuild from nothing, and yet humanity had always endured, always fought back, always found a way. That same endurance now flowed through the decks of the Valiant, through the crew, through every vessel in the human fleet. Lieutenant Haruto, one of her closest officers, leaned toward her. "Captain, our smaller ships are ready. They're anxious, but their formations are precise. They trust the Valiant to lead." Elena nodded. "They trust us because we trust them. Remember, Lieutenant, humans fight not because they have no fear, but because they refuse to let fear control them. That is our greatest weapon." Beyond the shields of the Valiant, the smaller human vessels advanced, sleek frigates and cruisers, moved with careful precision, engines glowing faintly against the darkness. Each pilot knew the risk, knew the power of the alien armada they faced. And yet, none faltered. Every maneuver, every adjustment of formation spoke of discipline born not from obedience, but from shared courage. The alien generals noticed the movement. Their whispers grew uneasy. "They advance, without hesitation," one hissed. "It is unnatural. No species has ever dared to approach us like this." General Xylar's eyes narrowed. He had faced countless civilizations that thought themselves brave, but humans were different. There was a stubbornness in them, a defiance that refused logic and calculation. Where others might fear annihilation, humans seemed almost to embrace the challenge. He felt an unfamiliar stirring in his chest, a shadow of unease that he could not ignore. The Valiant glided forward, cutting through the cold void, its engines humming like a giant heartbeat. Elena felt the vibrations beneath her feet, felt them resonate deep inside her. This was not just a ship, it was a statement. Humanity had entered the battlefield, not as a plea for survival, but as a demand to be taken seriously. Around her, crew members moved with focused precision, checking weapons, monitoring shields, coordinating with smaller ships. Each action, though routine, carried the weight of purpose. They were the last hope of Earth, and they carried that responsibility without complaint. Their determination was quiet, steady, unwavering. Suddenly, the first reports came in from the perimeter scanners. Alien scouts had noticed the human fleet and were maneuvering to intercept. Lasers streaked across the darkness, colliding with shields in bursts of red and blue light. Explosions shook the smaller human ships, forcing pilots to adjust rapidly, yet none broke formation. Every attack that hit was absorbed, every maneuver calculated. Captain Reyes gritted her teeth. "Hold the line! Every ship matters! Every life matters! This is humanity's answer!" Her words were simple, but they carried across the fleet like a spark igniting dry tinder. Across the human. The silence of space shattered in a blaze of light. Alien ships surged forward, their massive hulls reflecting the pale stars as if the darkness itself had come alive to witness destruction. Lasers streaked like bolts of fire, cutting through the void, hitting shields with explosions that rippled across human ships. The smaller vessels shook under the force of enemy fire, their engines straining to keep formation. Sparks and hull breaches scattered debris in every direction, turning the battlefield into a chaotic dance of light and shadow. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Valiant, her hands gripping the railing, knuckles white. Her eyes were fixed on the monitors, tracking every alien movement, calculating every possible trajectory. She could see the fear in her crew, the tension in their faces. But she also saw determination, a burning resolve that could not be measured by any scanner. "Hold. Your line!" she shouted, voice cutting through the hum of the bridge. "Every ship! Every life! This is Earth's fight, and we will not falter!" Her words echoed through the fleet like a rallying cry. Pilots stiffened in their seats, gripping controls with renewed focus. Engineers moved rapidly, reinforcing shields, rerouting power to weapons, stabilizing the trembling hulls. Every human ship responded in perfect, if desperate, coordination. Even in the face of overwhelming odds, no one wavered. Humanity did not retreat. Humanity fought. The Valiant fired its first salvo, a storm of plasma that tore through the lead lines of the alien fleet. The energy hit with such force that smaller alien vessels were shredded instantly, leaving jagged fragments floating silently against the void. The aliens recoiled, some staggering in confusion as their formations broke apart. It was a shock, unexpected, devastating, and brilliant in its execution. Lieutenant Haruto, monitoring the battle from a side console, whispered, almost in awe, "They didn't expect this. They never did." Elena's eyes narrowed. They never will. Humans fight best when underestimated. Let them realize it now, but too late. The alien generals on their bridge hissed and gestured wildly. "Concentrate fire on the Dreadnought," one ordered, claws slamming against metallic controls. "Destroy it first! Without the Valiant, their fleet will crumble." But the Dreadnought was ready. Its shields shimmered under the onslaught, absorbing attacks that would have obliterated any ordinary ship. The Valiant's massive cannons tracked multiple targets simultaneously, firing with uncanny precision. Alien ships fell in succession, explosions lighting the darkness like fireworks against an indifferent sky. Humanity's presence had transformed from a mere line of defense into an unstoppable force, and the aliens could feel it, panic whispering in the backs of their minds. Amid the chaos, human pilots danced through the battlefield, weaving between debris and enemy fire with precision born of training and courage. Each maneuver carried risk, each calculated dodge a defiance of death. The smaller ships struck back with laser bursts and missile volleys, targeting weak points in alien hulls. Even when a vessel was damaged, it continued the fight, refusing to yield to fear. Captain Reyes felt her heart pound. Every explosion, every laser strike, every decision made in the heat of battle was a testament to what humanity had become. These were not just soldiers. They were ordinary people who refused to be ordinary. Fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, now warriors whose courage would echo across the stars. The alien fleet began to falter. The precision and determination of human forces were unlike anything they had ever faced. For the first time, doubt seeped into the generals' minds. Some ships attempted to retreat only to be caught in the relentless pursuit of the human fleet. Others tried to regroup, but the Valiant's relentless assault kept them off balance. General Zylar's claws trembled as he slammed the command panel. "Hold! Regroup! We cannot allow them to win." But the humans were already beyond his expectations. Every loss they endured only seemed to make them fight harder. Every vessel destroyed became a motivation for the rest. In the chaos, human pilots communicated not just with instruments, but with unspoken understanding, anticipating each other's moves, covering weaknesses, pressing the attack with courage that defied reason. On board the Valiant, Captain Reyes watched as an alien destroyer attempted a flanking maneuver. She adjusted the Dreadnought's weapons, eyes locked on the target. "Fire all forward cannons," she ordered. "Let them see what humanity can do when cornered." The destroyer exploded in a massive burst of fire and metal. Its fragments drifted silently into the void, a warning to the rest of the alien fleet. The smaller ships cheered in response, adrenaline mixing with relief and pride. Humanity was holding. Humanity was winning. The alien generals hesitated. Their attack had faltered. The humans were not breaking. Something had shifted in the void of space. A tide had turned, and it carried the power of human will. Captain Reyes exhaled slowly, letting herself feel the moment, the triumph, but also the weight of what lay ahead. This was only the beginning. The battle had been won in courage and precision, but the alien fleet was still massive, still dangerous. The Valiant's entry had changed the course of this fight, but it would not be easy. Yet for the first time, the humans felt the exhilaration of defiance. For the first time, they understood that in the darkest void, in the face of overwhelming force, their courage was the weapon that no alien calculation could ever destroy. And as the stars blinked silently above, as explosions lit the darkness, like sparks of hope, the first true clash of humanity and the alien armada had ended. Humanity had proven itself, not just to the galaxy, but to itself, that they could stand, fight, and survive against forces that were supposed to be unstoppable. The Valiant and its fleet pressed forward, and the alien generals, for the first time in their long histories, realized they were facing something they could not simply crush, something they might not ever understand. The war had begun, and humanity had already won its first vital victory. The alien command bridge buzzed with tension, more powerful than any warning alarm could signal. General Zylar's eyes, multifaceted and unblinking, scanned the chaos displayed on the holographic monitors. Ships that should have fallen with ease were still moving, coordinated, precise, relentless. The humans were holding the line. No, they were pushing forward. The Dreadnought Valiant was no ordinary vessel. It was a fortress of defiance, a beacon of a species that refused to yield. "How?" Xylar hissed, claws tapping against the control surface in agitation. "This is impossible. Our calculations, our centuries of experience, and they still persist." Another general, taller and sharper than Xylar, rotated its head in disbelief. "They fight with something beyond logic. Their vessels are fragile. Their shields are weaker than ours, yet they endure, and they strike with coordination we cannot predict. It is unnatural." Unnatural. That word cut through Xylar's pride like a blade. In all his centuries of war, he had faced civilizations that believed themselves brave, empires that thought they were indestructible. None had moved like this. None had pressed forward with courage that ignored fear. Humans were supposed to flee, to scatter, to crumble in the face of superior force. Yet here they were, advancing, determined, unbroken. Xylar turned to the other generals, claws clenching. "We cannot allow this. They are an anomaly. Destroy them. Destroy the Valiant first. Cut off their fleet. Show them what it means to face us." The order was issued, echoing across the alien armada. But in that instant, hesitation spread among the ranks. Ships that should have moved in perfect formation faltered, caught off guard by the unexpected ferocity of human resistance. Smaller vessels fired with precision, striking weak points the aliens hadn't even realized existed. Explosions bloomed. Across the void, chunks of alien metal floating silently like shattered monuments to overconfidence. General Xylar's multifaceted eyes reflected the devastation. For the first time in his existence, he felt the sting of fear, not for himself, but for the civilization he had commanded. Humans were different. They fought not because they were machines, not because they followed orders without thought, but because they believed in something, in hope, in courage, in defiance, something alien species could never fully grasp. Meanwhile, on the human side, Captain Elena Reyes watched the battlefield with unwavering focus. She could sense the pressure from the alien fleet, the weight of centuries of experience, and yet she remained calm. She had trained for this moment, prepared her fleet, and instilled in them the courage that no weapon could measure. Every explosion, every destroyed ship was a testament to what humans could achieve when fear was transformed into determination. Back on the alien command bridge, another general's voice trembled, a rare sound of panic. "Their coordination, it is beyond logic. They anticipate each other's moves, even when we attack from multiple angles. How? How is this possible?" Xylar's voice was low, almost a growl. "It is not possible, and yet it is happening. Humanity is proving to be unstoppable. We have miscalculated." Gravely. The generals exchanged uneasy glances. In all their campaigns, no enemy had forced them to reconsider strategy in the middle of battle. Humans were not only surviving, they were reshaping the fight entirely. Ships that should have been easy targets were moving like pieces of a chessboard, responding, adapting, countering. Xylar felt a cold, alien unease spreading in his chest. Pride. The battlefield stretched endlessly, a dark canvas lit by flashes of fire and streaks of energy. Ships collided with sudden, violent explosions, fragments drifting silently through the void. Yet through the chaos, the human fleet held its ground. Every vessel, from the smallest scout to the colossal Dreadnought Valiant, moved as one living organism, guided not only by strategy, but by determination, courage, and an unbreakable will. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Valiant, eyes fixed on the chaos unfolding before her. She could see human ships maneuvering with grace under fire, dodging attacks that would have destroyed lesser vessels. Explosions bloomed around them, yet not a single pilot hesitated. Each strike they returned was precise, powerful, and defiant. Humanity was not retreating. Humanity was standing, and it was standing tall. Lieutenant Haruto's voice broke the tense silence. "Captain, they're trying to pull back. The alien fleet is attempting a retreat, but some of their ships are scattered. We have a chance to press the advantage." Elena's jaw tightened. She knew that the aliens' retreat was not yet complete. Pride and fear battled in their ranks, but their power was far from gone. "Let them retreat," she said, her voice steady. "Let them feel the cost of underestimating us. Humanity does not chase blindly. We fight with purpose. We fight to show the galaxy who we are." The smaller human vessels responded with coordinated precision. Frigates and cruisers cut through gaps in alien formations, targeting weak points and disrupting lines. Explosions rocked the enemy fleet, scattering their ships and breaking the rhythm of their attacks. Every alien vessel that tried to flee was met with human resistance, and every counterattack struck with the combined power of strategy and instinct. From the alien command bridge, panic was growing. General Xylar's multifaceted eyes widened as he watched monitors filled with chaos. They are not breaking. Even as we retreat, they press the attack. This is impossible. A weak species should have crumbled by now, another general hissed, claws trembling. Their courage, it is relentless. Their coordination, perfect. It is not just technology, it is something we cannot understand. Something human. Meanwhile, on the Valiant, Elena felt a surge of pride and responsibility. Each of her orders was carried out flawlessly, but she knew it was more than orders. It was trust, unity, and belief. Belief in each other, belief in humanity. She had seen fear and doubt countless times in her career, but never had she seen her crew act with such steadfast courage, each member aware that their lives were at risk, yet moving with unwavering resolve. Outside, the alien fleet attempted to reorganize. Ships twisted and turned, forming clusters, trying to create defensive lines. But every maneuver was anticipated. Human pilots moved with silent coordination, covering each other, striking vulnerabilities, and turning every attempted retreat into a tactical failure for the aliens. Haruto leaned closer to Elena, his voice tinged with awe. "Captain, they're panicking. Their retreat is chaotic. We could destroy them entirely if we push forward." Elena shook her head slightly. "Not yet. This is not about annihilation. This is about showing them the cost of underestimating humanity. Every ship that survives today carries our story, our will. Let them remember it." As if on cue, the Valiant unleashed a massive barrage. Energy beams tore through the closest alien vessels, disintegrating them instantly. Smaller ships flanked the surviving enemies, striking with missiles and laser fire. The alien fleet staggered under the relentless pressure. Some tried to flee, others regrouped, but the humans pressed forward calmly, purposefully, and with unwavering determination. For the first time, a ripple of fear spread among the alien ranks. They had never faced such a species, one that could endure unimaginable odds and still fight, one that did not crumble in the face of superior numbers and firepower. Humans were unpredictable, relentless, and unyielding. And that unpredictability made them terrifying. On the bridge of the Valiant, Elena felt the weight of the moment. Her heart pounded, but she stood tall, commanding with a mixture of authority and compassion. She knew each decision could mean life or death for her crew, for the fleet, for humanity itself. Yet she did not hesitate. She had faith, not blind. Faith, but faith earned through preparation, courage, and shared determination. The smaller human ships moved like a river, flowing through the gaps, striking with precision, never pausing, never wavering. Explosions lit the darkness, scattering alien vessels, yet every loss among the humans only strengthened their resolve. Humanity was proving in every burst of fire and energy that courage was more powerful than fear, that willpower could outmatch experience, and that hope was stronger than despair. Finally, the alien generals issued a partial retreat. Some ships broke formation, attempting to flee, but the humans pursued with careful persistence. They did not chase recklessly. They pressed the advantage, ensuring that the aliens would feel the consequences of their arrogance without throwing their own lives away. Captain Reyes allowed herself a brief exhale, the weight of battle pressing down on her, yet tempered by pride. Humanity had not just survived. They had held their ground, inflicted damage, and proven their resilience. The galaxy was watching, and the humans had sent their first undeniable message. They would not be ignored, they would not be broken, and they would not surrender. The stars continued to blink quietly, distant and indifferent, yet against their cold light, humanity's courage shone brighter than ever. The Valiant led its fleet forward, a moving symbol of defiance, a testament to the unbreakable human spirit, and somewhere deep in the chaos of space, the alien generals felt for the first time what it meant to face a species that could not be counted out. A species whose courage defied logic, a species that had learned to stand even when the odds seemed impossible. Humanity had made its stand. The galaxy would remember it. The alien fleet, once a wall of metallic menace stretching endlessly across the void, now began to falter. Their formations wavered, disrupted by the relentless advance of the human ships. Explosions marked the sky. Like violent sparks, and shards of metal drifted silently into the darkness, remnants of ships that had once seemed unstoppable. The aliens realized too late that they were facing more than a fleet. They were facing determination, courage, and a species that refused to be broken. General Xylar's claws clenched against the control panel. His eyes, multifaceted and cold, reflected the chaos on the screens. "Regroup!" he barked, though even his voice trembled. We cannot let them push us off the battlefield." But the orders were futile. The humans had anticipated. The maneuver, and the Valiant led the charge with unwavering precision. Its massive cannons fired again, striking alien ships with a power that shook even the bravest among them. Smaller human vessels flanked the remaining enemy, cutting off escape routes and forcing the alien fleet into disarray. The retreat had begun, but it was slow, chaotic, and deadly. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge, her gaze fixed on the fleeing enemy. The stars outside were silent witnesses to the unfolding scene, distant and indifferent, yet the explosions of alien ships painted streaks of fire across the darkness. Her crew moved with careful efficiency, ensuring that each attack counted, that every maneuver minimized human loss. "Keep pressure on them," she commanded. "Do not allow them to escape without consequences." Lieutenant Haruto adjusted, the targeting systems, voice tight with adrenaline. "Captain, they're trying to scatter, but we've cut off their escape paths. If we press, we can force them to abandon more ships." Elena's lips curved in a faint smile. "Then let them see the cost of underestimating humanity." The aliens had fought countless wars, conquered worlds, and destroyed civilizations, but they had never encountered a species that fought with such unpredictable determination. Every time they tried to form a defensive line, the humans anticipated it, striking weak points, exploiting mistakes, and turning every retreat into a trial of terror. Fear rippled through the alien ranks, something they had never truly experienced before. From the alien command bridge, General Xylar barked another order, attempting to regroup scattered ships. "Focus fire on the Dreadnought. Stop it. If we destroy it, the rest will follow." But the humans were ready. The Valiant's shields absorbed waves of fire that would have shattered lesser ships. Its cannons fired in devastating precision, cutting through alien formations with unstoppable force. Every human vessel worked in perfect coordination, each movement calculated, each strike purposeful. The aliens could not adapt fast enough, and fear gnawed at their pride, something unknown and unwelcome in their centuries of domination. Amid The chaos, human pilots dodged debris and laser fire with fluid skill, turning the battlefield into a deadly dance. Every explosion, every damaged ship only sharpened their focus. Humanity was not just fighting for survival. They were shaping the outcome, making the enemy feel the full weight of human determination. "Captain," Haruto said, eyes wide. "Their retreat is breaking down completely. Ships are abandoning formation. They're panicking." Elena nodded, calm but firm. "Let them panic. Chaos is their weakness, and humanity's strength is order in the storm. Focus on keeping our ships safe while forcing the retreat. Make every shot count." Outside, the Valiant unleashed another series of energy blasts. Alien warships disintegrated in. The battlefield had quieted, though the void was far from peaceful. Scattered debris floated silently among the stars, remnants of alien warships that had been destroyed or disabled. The human fleet, though battered, held its ground. Smoke and sparks drifted from the damaged vessels, but the crew worked tirelessly, repairing hulls, recalibrating shields, and tending to the wounded. Victory had been hard won, but it had been won. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Valiant, gazing out at the aftermath. Her uniform was marked with streaks of soot and scratches, her hair slightly disheveled, yet her posture remained unbroken. She could feel the weight of the battle pressing against her chest, not just the responsibility of command, but the reality of what humanity had endured and achieved. Each ship that remained, each life preserved, was a testament to courage and determination. Lieutenant Haruto approached, voice subdued yet filled with awe. "Captain, they're retreating completely. The alien fleet. It's over for now." Elena exhaled slowly, allowing herself a brief moment of relief. "It's never truly over," she said softly, eyes still scanning the void. "There will always be more battles, more enemies. But today, humanity has shown the galaxy something important. We survive, we fight, and we do not surrender." The crew moved with a mixture of exhaustion and quiet pride. Repairs were underway, but morale was high. Pilots recounted their maneuvers. Engineers celebrated the successful restoration of damaged systems, and medics tended to the injured with care and precision. Every smile, every sigh of relief was a small victory in itself, a reminder that humanity had endured what many believed impossible. Outside, the stars shone cold and indifferent, but for the humans floating among them, the darkness felt less oppressive. The void was vast and dangerous, yet they had faced it together. Each ship, each pilot, each crew member had played a part in a story that would be remembered, not just as a battle, but as a testament to the unyielding human spirit. "Lieutenant," Haruto spoke again, quieter this time, almost reverently. "Captain, the aliens. They didn't expect us to fight like this. They thought we would break. They thought we would run." Elena's eyes softened, reflecting both pride and solemnity. "They underestimated humanity," she said. "They never understood that our strength is not just in weapons or numbers. It is in will, in unity, in the courage to face impossible odds and still move forward. That is who we are." Reports from the fleet confirmed the alien retreat. Scattered groups of enemy ships had fled in different directions, some damaged, some destroyed, but none able to challenge the human line. The victory was decisive, though hard-fought. Humanity had survived the first encounter with a civilization, far older and more powerful than themselves, and had emerged not only intact, but triumphant. In the quiet moments after the battle, Elena allowed herself to reflect. She remembered the faces of her crew during the fight, the fear, the determination, the unwavering resolve. Each person had chosen courage over fear, action over hesitation. They had fought not just for survival, but for pride, for their planet, for each other. And in doing so, they had proven that humanity was not a species to be dismissed. The bridge of the Valiant was filled with quiet activity. Engineers monitored shields and engines, pilots reported status updates, and communications officers relayed the positions of scattered alien vessels. Yet amid the technical chatter, a sense of calm pride lingered, a shared recognition that they had survived something extraordinary. Haruto leaned on the console, eyes thoughtful. "Captain, do you think they'll come back?" Elena's gaze remained on the void. "They will," she said. "They always do. But today, we've sent a message. Humanity is not weak. Humanity is not fragile. And we will not be broken, no matter how many times they return." The crew nodded silently, understanding the weight of her words. Victory was never permanent, and the galaxy would always be dangerous. But humanity had survived, had fought, and had made its presence known. That knowledge, that defiance, would carry them forward. Beyond the immediate victory, Elena felt something deeper. The humans had proven something to themselves, not just to the aliens. They had discovered a strength that no one could take away, a courage that would endure long after the battle had ended. The Valiant had entered the battlefield, and in doing so, humanity had made its mark on the galaxy. In the distance, small fires glimmered where alien ships had fallen. The stars, cold and silent, reflected the human resolve like tiny beacons of light. Humanity had faced a superior force, and they had survived. They had stood together, and in that stand they had won more than a battle. They had won recognition, pride, and a testament to the enduring human spirit. Elena finally turned to her crew, voice firm but gentle. "Today we fought, and we survived. Tomorrow we prepare for whatever comes next. But never forget this moment. This is the moment humanity proved it belongs in the galaxy. Remember it, and carry it with you wherever you go." The crew stood silently, absorbing her words. The weight of the battle pressed on their shoulders, but so did the light of achievement, pride, and unity. Humanity had survived. Humanity had stood. Humanity had triumphed. And somewhere in the distant void, the retreating alien fleet carried a message of its own. Humans were not a species to be underestimated. They were a force, relentless and unbroken, whose courage could shake even the most confident generals of the galaxy. The stars above twinkled silently, indifferent yet witness to a species that had refused to surrender. Humanity had made its mark, and the galaxy would never forget it. The void of space seemed quieter now, though it was only a fragile calm after the storm. Alien ships retreated into the darkness, some badly damaged, others lost entirely. The human fleet remained steadfast, scattered across the battlefield yet united in resolve. The stars above shone cold and distant, but amidst them, the light of human courage burned brighter than ever. Humanity had faced what seemed impossible, and had triumphed. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Valiant, her hands resting, lightly on the railing. Her eyes scanned the remnants of the alien fleet, each destruction and retreat a testament to her crew's skill, bravery, and determination. She felt the exhaustion pressing on her, but it was tempered by pride. They had fought not just with weapons, but with courage, with unity, with heart. Humanity had left its mark. Lieutenant Haruto approached, voice quiet yet full of awe. "Captain, they're gone. The alien fleet. They've retreated completely. They'll remember this day." Elena nodded, letting herself breathe in the moment. "Yes," she said softly. "They will remember. And so will the galaxy. Today, humanity has proven itself, not just as survivors, but as warriors. Not just as explorers, but as a force that cannot be ignored." Across the fleet, Human ships began repairing damage, tending to wounded, and reorganizing for the journey home. Engineers moved efficiently, medics worked tirelessly, and pilots shared stories of narrow escapes and precise maneuvers. Every person felt the weight of what they had endured, yet there was a shared sense of accomplishment, a realization that they had faced a superior enemy and had emerged victorious. From the alien perspective, General Xylar's claws shook as he surveyed the battlefield. His pride, once unshakable, had been shattered. "Impossible," he muttered, a rare tremor in his voice. "We underestimated them. We miscalculated. Humans are unlike any species we have faced." Another general hissed, struggling to maintain composure. "They survived. They endured. They did not break. Even when we forced them back, they stood, they fought, and they made us retreat." Xylar's multifaceted eyes narrowed. For the first time, he realized that no amount of firepower or experience could guarantee victory against this species. Humans fought with heart, with courage, with a will that could not be predicted. And that, he knew with a mixture of awe and fear, made them a force unlike any other in the galaxy. On board the Valiant, Elena turned to her crew. "This is not the end," she said, her voice calm but filled with conviction. "The galaxy is vast, and threats will come again. But today, humanity has sent a message. We will not surrender. We will not be ignored, and we will face whatever comes next with courage and unity." The crew listened, their faces tired yet determined. Each person had seen fear, faced it, and risen above it. They had witnessed destruction and chaos, yet they had endured, survived, and prevailed. In their eyes, in their hearts, burned the knowledge that humanity had achieved something extraordinary. Lieutenant Haruto glanced at the stars, voice soft. "Captain, do you think the galaxy will ever underestimate us again?" Elena smiled, faintly, her gaze unwavering. "They may try. Some will. But humans have proven today that courage cannot be measured, that determination cannot be predicted, and that the will to survive is stronger than any weapon. Let them underestimate us, and they will learn the cost." Beyond the immediate victory, there was a deeper truth that Elena felt in her bones. Humanity's triumph was not just about ships or battles. It was about heart. It was about refusing to be crushed by fear, refusing to bow before superior numbers, refusing to surrender when hope seemed distant. That spirit, that courage, was humanity's true weapon, and it had been shown to the galaxy in brilliant, unyielding light. The alien generals, retreating into the depths of space, would carry the memory of this defeat forever. They had encountered a species,